What's up, family? This is going to be a quick example of how not to mix. It's very important not to confuse and conflate a tether, a hostile, coon, traitorous person with melanin, with a person who's a B1 black first, who's about black empowerment in their first among their selves, among their family, and then in their people, and then in the global black world. Very important. I'm gonna play these two clips. I'm gonna comment during the clips.
Let's say Black Americans and Africans right now.
So generally, Black Americans, not until recently, Black Americans have been the biggest supporters of the progress of Africa. For Africa to be able to do well, they have always been. When people come out of Africa, when a particular person, say in any capacity, trying to make a difference, Black Americans have always amplified such individuals. Even as recently as the young man from Burkina Faso, you can clearly see if you go to IG, it was Black Americans trying to give a voice. Most Africans, especially the ones that live in diaspora, they don't give a damn. So Black Americans have always been at the forefront of trying to get Africa work. All right, they were the inspiration that gave rise to the independence in Africa. It was their leaders that inspired all the Kwame Nkrumah, all the people that you see revolted in their various places. It was Black Americans' inspiration. Now, why did Black Americans do that? They felt that these people who share the same melanin, because it is only normal, it is only reasonable to say, hey, these ones that belong on the other continents, that share the same melanin, it's only normal to say, hey, you're not doing so well, I want to encourage you to do well. Now they began to inspire Africa. They began to all the fights that they fought in America was to ensure that Africa can at least find way to come and become a natural allies with them. Those were the vision. But at the end of the day, you see people coming over to the America, rather than being natural allies to these people that supported you, that gave you light. You became adversary to them. You joined the real enemy. You want to please the enemy against them. So this is the origin of the animosity. And even as far back as 10, 15 years ago, Black Americans were not showing their discontent towards African. They were not. It was only recently, because Africans became far more emboldened in their assertiveness. They became quite insulting, they became quite abusive, they became condescending. Imagine coming into a space, disrespecting the natives, trying to please the real enemy, joining them, thinking is a competition. This was what resulted to them. They began to speak up, because the thing became too much, and then they had to. Anybody would. It became so obvious that anybody would clearly see it. Then they began to speak up. So the idea of delineation has to happen, because clearly people who are supposed to be natural allies are joining the enemy. So why wouldn't you delineate with them? Delineate from them. So they don't understand alliance. It doesn't make sense to them. None of this makes sense to them. So the idea of alliance became a thing, and it has to happen, because that's the only way people can now begin to take accountability. That's the only way accountability can step in. Because without delineation, you can see somebody who is from Somalia. He'll be saying, oh, you're punishing me, you're trying to send me out of America because I am black. No, you're not. You are Somalian. You committed fraud. You came in with nothing. You're stealing everything. Now you're trying to say you're black, just to run behind it, and then have all of us as a target. No, you are the target. You caused the problem. So these are some of the things that we must critically look at. Delineation is very, very, very important. That way we can see what each group is bringing to the table. Not using other people's identity, running behind other people's identity to act like, because most of these people, when they come back home here on the continent, they begin to call themselves Black Americans. Some of them pose, they try to look down upon some of us, because they come. These are some of it. That's why we need delineation, so that you know who you are right from the onset. So that you if you can't do something to improve where you come from, then the shame is upon you. Then that is what we want. We need delineation. Very, very important.
So these are the conversations that are happening around this delineation thing. A lot of people want to criticize the FBA and the delineation movement. FBA is just an acronym, foundational, in front of Black American. because they are Black Americans, but some of Black Americans and some African Americans are not the same, are not of the lineage that descended from the slavery era in the United States. So the thing is, though, we've always put pressure on people who we looked at as coons, traitors, betrayers. Okay, but a lot of times it's according to the brother here. A lot of people from the African continent, when they get a little education, they go fly over to America, and it seems like there's not enough pressure being put on them. The pressure is not being put on them to bring their skills back, to improve where they live, to do something better from where they come from. And so what they do is this class of people. Now, see, the one thing they want to conflate, they want to hide behind everyone because we're criticizing a particular behavior. It's not even just Africans. It's called tether, but it's just the foreigners who come over to undermine the righteous freedom struggles that Black folks have, and even other groups of people. So this is what we need. Now let's look at this other video to see. I want y'all to see where the tether is, because they're feeling pressure. Now, Brother Tariq Nasheed went over to Africa one time, and he went over in good faith. He went over there, just visiting Senegal, feeding people, just doing regular tourism visiting. And let's look at this here when they found out he was over
Africans,
there.
no one will ever respect us if we have no self-respect. If anyone in Senegal has ever listened to me, if you've ever valued anything I ever said, you need to call immigration. That's Tariq Nasheed. That is the man responsible. You see this whole FB, he's the one that started it. He's the one that started it, funded by the white people behind Project 2025. People behind Project 2025 wanted to split us up. They wanted to destroy the Black community. They wanted to split Africa.
And he says Tariq's getting funded by Project 2025 to split Africa up, and no proof. He just says that, and people believe it. They're repeating what this man's saying.
Whatever. Tariq Nasheed is the founder of FBA. This man has built his entire career of shitting off of Africans. His entire career. I'm glad it's Senegal, because it's not. If it was Nigeria, I swear to God, I would go to jail, because I would literally call for violence against this man. I would make videos right now calling every Nigerian to fight.
So I want to stop right there for a second, because this man literally just said he wanted to call for violence against a brother, an American brother, Tariq Nasheed, a Black man, because he disagrees when Tariq has encouraged Black Americans to put the word foundational in front of Black America to identify us versus other Black Americans. This man actually says he wants to call for violence, physical violence. So how safe do I feel in his country? Why should we, see, this is what I'm saying. And then they want to paint the FBA community as something that we're wrong. But why are these people concerned? Because we decided to, a sizable number of us are having a debate, and we decide to call ourselves something. Like, it's insane. I mean, Sudan and South Sudan split. We didn't get mad. Zimbabwe changed its name from Rhodesia. We didn't get mad. This is something that these people have absolutely no reason to even concern themselves over. But you hear them calling for violence, this particular person, and there are people repeating what this man said. So just so you can know, think about this.
This man in Nigeria and physically hurt him. But he's not in Nigeria, he's in Senegal. So all I can say is, Senegalese people, what y'all want to do is up to you. But if it were me, I would call immigration. I would send all his clips to the Senegalese immigration and tell them this man is in your country. He's a threat to your country. He's a threat to the people of your country. And I can promise you, when he comes back to America, the things he's going to say about Senegalese people, go to your immigration, go to your customs people. I know there are powerful Senegalese people who watch me. Call the customs, call Senegalese immigration. That man needs to be kicked out of Senegal. I am not joking. If you're not going to if immigration won't do anything, you need to handle business on your own. Tariq Nasheed. See, our problem as Black people, I've said this multiple times. We lack self-respect. We do not respect ourselves, because see, Tariq Nasheed, when he started, remember, he used to go against Africans and Mexicans. And then I will never forget this. A Mexican Mexican gangbanger, one very famous Mexican gangster, made a video and told him, yo, if you ever say anything about Mexicans at your mouth anymore, we're going to find you, we're going to take care of you. After that day, Tariq Nasheed never, ever mentioned Mexicans. But see, Africans were too divided, and there's no one...
Yeah, so y'all see what he's doing. He's just lying, talking about, because Tariq's still talking about Mexicans. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. It's just showing me that, we have a lot of people who that's why they call them tether, who are connected to what we do. So let me know what you think.
Got to find a way to